I guess around I think I was in third grade. I grew up in a Baptist church, and I did the salvation prayer, and I was saved. And but my life didn't show it. Like as I grew up, I was not a very good teenager. I had issues with my parents, issues with all kinds of stuff, and that kind of went into my adulthood. So I carried a lot of resentment, bitterness, anger, hate, you name it. That was me. I was horrible. I was an awful person. Like every other word out of my mouth was the F word. I mean, it was terrible. I really wasn't a good person at all. I hated people. I hated being around people. I was one of those people that would sit out in the front yard, and when somebody would drive by staring at us, I'd be like, "What are you looking at?" So anyway, one night, me and Nathan were in bed watching TV, and I just happened upon Daystar, and I just stopped and I started watching it. The next morning, I woke up and I had this really strong desire to put it on Daystar and watch it again after the kids got on the bus, and this was like at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I watched it, all the preachers and everything that came on till like noon, 1 o'clock, and by that time, it was like, the thing is, before I get there, I thought I was saved, all this time because I said that prayer when I was 9. I really need to emphasize this. But my life didn't show it. Yes, I loved God. I prayed all the time, all that stuff, but my life did not show that I was a Christian, I mean, I was complete opposite. But when this happened, like when I was watching all this, it just literally, I hated being who I was. I did not like being the rotten, awful person that I was. And I cannot remember for the life of me who it was that was on, but I was literally in tears, and I gave it all to the Lord. I actually surrendered to the Lord, and I really want to make that point too. That salvation prayer thing, I mean, your heart really has to be in it when you're doing that, or it's just another saying pretty much, because I always heard people as I was growing up saying that they, when they were saved, that it was like a weight lifted off their shoulders, and I was like, I never experienced that, So when I surrendered to the Lord in my living room, right after watching all that, I really truly did not want to be the person I was anymore. I wanted to be who God wanted me to be, and I gave it all to Him. And it was like He immediately, just reached down inside me and pulled out all that bitterness, all that rage, all that everything that was horrible inside of me out, and just made me a totally new person. Now I understand what that means when they say that, they feel like a weight's been, because literally a weight was lifted off of me. And it was like, He put this desire in me to start reading the Bible and just learn as much as I can. And I think about a year or two prior to that, I was at one of the resale shops here in Granbury, and I got a few Bibles for my kids, and this was one of them. So when that desire was put in me to start reading the Bible, this is the one that I reached for, because I was like, well, if a kid can understand this one, I can too. So, I went through this like within 6 months. And about, I'm going to say this happened, literally it's been 3 years now. Like I don't know the exact date, but I know it was between like August 20th, August 25th of 2018. So my life's been all about Jesus since, and I'm going to say around January of 2019 is when I started realizing, because I did church at home. I was just watching TBN and Daystar all day, learning all that I could. And I realized in January of 2019 that we need to go to church. I need to find me a church home. So I got on the internet and was looking up churches in Granbury, and this was one of them that I was interested in, and there were several others. And I couldn't make up my mind. This was like on a Monday or Tuesday. And I kept telling Nathan, we're going to go to church. And Nathan has never been to church in his life until we came here. But so I was, seeking God, asking Him where He wants me to go, this whole week. And as I was sitting out back reading my book one day, I think it was probably Thursday that week, I was just out there reading, and the wind grabbed my book. It was open like this, and it grabbed my book. And, well, it wasn't open this far, but it took a lot of my pages back to the front. And at the front of this book, it says this Bible is given to Victoria Anastasia Smith by Generations Church. And I was like, okay, well, there's my sign. That's the church we're going to. So that's what brought me here. And this instantly became my home. So